Hello, my name's Veronica, and this is my husband Matt. Welcome to Vermeulen Farm's virtual farm tour. I'm a third-generation dairy farmer from Shubenacadie, Nova Scotia. My grandparents started the farm when they immigrated from the Netherlands. My brothers and I are the current generation running the farm. These are my parents, Adrian and Melanie. Because of their hard work, the farm has grown over the years and is currently milking 750 cows. What about our farm is unique? What stands out on the farm that might be interesting for a member of Canadian Young Farmers? The biggest thing that I can think of is that we operate on multiple facilities. But the really interesting part of the different locations is that each location has a specific purpose. The cows calve out in one barn, move to a separate location to be milked and bred, and once pregnant, move to a third location for the remainder of their lactation. The original farm we call Vinegar Hill. This is the farm that my grandfather purchased. This is where my dad grew up. This is where me and my 5 siblings grew up. This is the original farm. Currently, it's milking 350 cows in a double 12 parallel parlor. They milk twice a day, and they scrape the barn every time they milk and bed up the cows with sawdust and hydrated lime. This farm also makes the mixes for the 2 neighboring farms, the Dry Cow Barn, where I work, and the tie stall, Misty Hollow. In total, Dwayne Miller, the guy that makes the mixes, every morning here feeds 600 cows. All of the fresh cows come to this location and are checked by the vet. My brother Hans is in charge of all the breeding, and he does offsing protocols every single day. He also breeds with a lot of sex semen, which I'm excited about because it means more heifer calves. A man named Yuri manages Vinegar Hill along with 3 other full-time people. Because the milkings are pretty long, it's nice that they don't have to calve out the cows or deal with calves at this location. They mostly focus on sick cows, hoof trimming, and milking. Over the hill, down in the valley by the river, is a farm called Misty Hollow. This is a 100-cow tie stall barn. A man named Mike Ashley milks the cows here twice a day. We have renovated this barn so that we can clean the manure behind the stalls with the skid steer and also bed them up with sawdust with the skid steer. The mix for this barn comes every day from Vinegar Hill and then is fed out with a feed cart. The primary purpose of this tie stall barn is for cows that might have trouble competing at the bunk in a freestall environment. A lame cow or an older cow we normally move to this barn. Mike Ashley is one of the best cow guys on the farm, so normally we also send him the high pedigree cows. You can see in this shot Misty Hollow is straight ahead, and then we're going to turn, and to your right is Vinegar Hill, and if we keep turning is the newest farm that we purchased, which actually used to be a chicken barn. This barn is now used for the dry cows and calves. I might spend a little longer on this barn because this is the barn that I work at every day. This chicken farm included a 2-story barn and a 1-story barn. The 2-story barn, we tore out the second level and all the chicken cages, and we made it into a pack barn by pouring a lean-to onto the side, which we turned into a scrape alley feed bunk. We put 140 headlocks along this feed bunk, and every morning we lock up the cows, rototill the pack, and check to see who's going to calve next. There are approximately 120 dry cows at this location, and also around 30 replacement heifers that are close to calving. The pack barn is very comfortable for the dry cows in their last 2 months of pregnancy, and in the summer they go out on the pasture as well. Behind the dry cow barn is the calf barn. We raise the calves until they are 4 months old. They are fed 3 times a day, and they peak at 12 liters per day before they're weaned. Once weaned, they're moved to groups of 12 and they are fed rumen max. One of the most important parts of calf raising, in my opinion, is to give that calf high quality colostrum in the first couple hours of life. In the close-ups, this is what we strive to do with our fresh cow protocol. You can see this is a typical calving happening. So what I do is I leave the calf with the mother until the mother is done licking it off, and then I put it in the cuddle box and I milk the mother and feed the colostrum to the calf. By putting the calf in the cuddle box, you prevent the calf from ingesting bacteria or manure that exists in the calving pen. In my experience, I've found this is a good prevention for many diseases, including crypto. In addition to having a healthy newborn calf, we also want a healthy fresh cow so that she has a successful lactation. We feed a Goldilocks ration to try to prevent some of the transition cow problems. The footage you see here is from the cameras in the close-up pen, which are attached to my phone so I can supervise 24 hours a day. You can see how close on a map these 3 farms that I've gone through with you are. Every day we truck the fresh cows from the dry cow barn to Vinegar Hill when they are ready to be milked in the tank, and from there they are bred. Once they are pregnant, they are moved to a farm that is 20 minutes away that we call the Alton Farm. This farm is managed by my oldest brother Guy and his girlfriend Jacqueline. It also has a parallel double 12 parlor, which makes the transition easy for the cows from Vinegar Hill. There are deep bedded stalls in this barn and scrape alleys. There is an outdoor feed bunk, and also there's an indoor feed bunk, actually 2 indoor feed bunks, and the feed has to be bucketed in with a skid steer and dumped into these feed bunks. At this location, they milk between 250 cows and 300, depending on where they are with drying off cows and receiving pregnant cows from Vinegar Hill. All the cows are dried off at this location. Because this farm is a 20-minute drive from Vinegar Hill, they actually make their own mixes, unlike Misty Hollow and the dry cow barn. So they have their own mixer wagon, and they have their own piles, and they make the mix for these cows every day. This barn also has a nice pack where they can keep any cows that are going dry and feed them a different ration to slow down their milk production. By slowing down their milk production, you prevent some mastitis problems that happen if they leak milk during their dry cow period. The last part of the farm that I would like to talk about is the cropping division. Vermeulen Farm's cropping expanded gradually as the number of barns grew to meet the demands of growing number of animals. We are currently farming 700 acres of corn silage and 750 acres of grass silage. I'm sure out here in Saskatoon, 700 acres would be what we call in Nova Scotia the back 40. Corn planting this acreage in Nova Scotia has its challenges. The cropping crew is faced with emptying 4 different manure pits, applying various sorts of lime, and applying compost on 3 different locations ranging 30 kilometers away before the corn can go in the ground, all while working with the weather. In the spring of 2017, we had a wet spring and had to put on hold corn planting to harvest the first cut of grass before returning to corn planting again. That spring, we started corn planting on May 13th and we didn't finish until June 7th. 5 years ago, in 2013, the cropping was managed by 2 different managers, one for the Alton location and one for the Milford location. These managers both used their own set of equipment to harvest grass silage. This included mowers, rakes, dump trucks, loader tractors, and pull-type harvesters for each location. The reason for using 2 sets of equipment was because by using the pull-type harvesters, it was very difficult with the distance between the 2 farms and the short weather intervals to achieve good quality grass silage across the whole farm at optimal harvesting time. By using 2 separate crews, they were able to start on each farm when the conditions best suited. Since using 2 sets of equipment, as you can imagine, is inefficient, we moved towards a better setup. Today we run the cropping crew with 1 manager, my brother Oliver Vermeulen, and 1 set of equipment. This was achieved by moving to a self-propelled 8400i John Deere harvester, followed by a 4-basket rake, triple mowers, 2 trucks, and 2 dump trailers with 2 packing tractors, we are able to harvest on all the farms with one set of equipment and one crew. It has been my pleasure to tell you guys a little bit about